All right. Okay, let's see. Is everything looking good? Hopefully it is. Oh, goodness. So, welcome. If you are seeing me clearer than normal, it is because I upgraded my camera and it is now a 4K camera. Um, and so hopefully you like the new look. I will say the shadow from the natural light coming in makes it look like I got mutton chops or something. But either way, so uh, it sounds like everything is coming through okay. So hopefully we can get at it and enjoy this amazing chapter. I have not read it yet, but I am very much looking forward to it. I've been dodging spoilers. So, without, well, I do have a few things. Um, Before we get into it, I also wanted to say tomorrow, or maybe later today, probably later today, I'll be dropping my One Piece trading card giveaway. And so if you are, you know, out and when you're not in the know, I have been collecting One Piece trading cards, and so I have a ton of extra because I collect. And if I have extra, I like to give them away because I hate scalpers and they suck. So therefore, if you find the video that I post later today, you like it, you follow me, you subscribe, you comment, you will automatically be entered in to win a drawing for free One Piece cards. I will be giving away a 3 of the deck boxes worth of cards, and then on top of that, I will also be giving away 2 whole booster boxes full of cards. Um, so please keep up on the know by following, subscribing, and liking all of the good stuff to keep the YouTube and TikTok algorithms popping for you. Um, and then you would be able to win, and they're free. I already did one giveaway earlier, I think like a month or so ago, maybe a month and a half, and I got those cards out, and those people got free cards from me. So please keep in mind. Also on YouTube and TikTok, I have my latest 2 story times for going to Las Vegas to the One Piece Cafe and also the One Piece Symphony, which was great. So please check those videos out. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this chapter. Okay. So I'm reading the officials. I'm not reading the TCB scans version for once. Luckily, I was able to hold off long enough that the regular's out. So we start off with a crazy cover page of a gigantic Nami with Robin in her arms, Chopper in her hand, next to some ice cream. We'd see Jinbei and Sanji in the back. Luffy's holding a big thing of ice cream. And Usopp's jumping onto the ice cream. Zoro's on her leg cutting watermelons. And Brooke is right under that leg playing guitar. So that is very cool. Let me see if I can full screen this. Yeah, okay. That is quite the spread, dude. Oda knows what he be doing. The way that she's sticking out her tongue, I'm like, bro, Oda be writing this just like, all right. Let's see. Okay, we get to the first page and we see, watch out for the claws. And you guys hear, fire cannons, stop them. And then it says, they're poison, don't touch them. And Saturn's just like smacking a bunch of the giants and says, "We're trying not to touch them, but the attacks are too fierce." Luffy said, "He just keeps coming down to the very end." Sorry about that. He just keeps coming down to the very end. And then all of a sudden, Bonnie looks like she's starting to transform back into G5. And Luffy looks over and sees her. And so Luffy punches one of Saturn's uh, like I don't know, spider legs that's coming towards um, her, and he knocks it away. And then Bonnie jumps up in the air in her G5 form, and Saturn says, "Bonnie," and and then she's wheezing, and Luffy says, "That's it, Bonnie, you do it." Then we cut to Vegapunk saying, "One day, the memories of the Void Century will be recalled. And mark my word." Um, and it says, "Mark my words, that day is coming. The sinking of the world's continents was a man-made disaster brought about by weapons. Weapons which, by someone's design, still exist today." This is really interesting. So right here we get one. It looks like I don't think this is Pirate Island. This is somewhere. I really want to zoom in and see more of what is going on there. Let's see. Looks like a bunch of random pirates and people hanging out in the town square watching the broadcast. Then we go down and we see Shirahoshi, and then we see Vivi, which is wild because it's like everyone always theorized that Vivi was also an ancient weapon similar to Shirahoshi. So it's like seeing those two in the panel. But then we get another crazy panel down here because it says, "which by someone's design still exists today." And we get Conus up on Sky Island. There's the serpent Nola, and then Aisha is also there, and they both look like they're dressed like nurses or something. Then we get to see what looks to be like Dawnfall and Wiper and some of the other Skypians at like a city. So that's really interesting. Like, and then just to rewind a second, I love the fact that Luffy saw that Saturn was basically like pissed off because he saw her going G5. Huh. Yeah, I need to get more fucking oxygen to the brain here. I'm losing it. But I just love this moment, and I love how Luffy's saying, "You do it, Bonnie." Like, yo, pack this dude up, just send him flying with your power because he's the one who ruined your life. Like, the whole funny thing about this is bro is the reason why she has this power. He was experimenting on her as a child when she was in the womb, and he's the whole reason why she has this power, that she's able to go G5. Like, yeah, dude, be pissed. Be pissed you made those mistakes. You're dumb. You're a fucking idiot. Hell yeah. So that was really cool. Let's see here. Let's keep it going. Oh shit. Oh shit. Let's see here. The machinations of history and fate seem to insist upon the obliteration of those last descendants of rare races. I knew it. I knew it. And then we get to see this flashback of Puma and Vegapunk saying, "Are you a buccaneer? What makes my blood different from other people's?" And then we see Marco, and he's listening to the broadcast, and it says, atop the red line, there used to be a land of gods up there. And then it says, a Lunarian. I hear the government pays 100 million for tips on your kind. And then it shows Pudding from the Three-Eye tribe and saying, look, she's got 3 eyes. So all sorts of special races. Crazy. And then it says, it's Nika. Bonnie says, if there's one score I have to settle, it's with you. And Saturn says, with that mimicry, a pale imitation. And Luffy says, get him. And Saturn looks so pissed. And it looks like, what am I seeing here? What is happening? Is that Luffy or Bonnie? It's so hard to tell. It looks like Luffy just knocks all of Saturn's feet, like his legs, in a different direction. And Luffy's chuckling, and Bonnie has tears in her eyes. And is just, I'm sure she's cocking one back. She's like, when I catch you, Ricky, when I catch you. Yo, this is dope. I love this. You know what? Bonnie for Straw Hats, dude. This is the moment, right? This is where Luffy shows what type of captain he is, and this is the moment where like someone would normally be like, oh, like he's that type of captain, follow this man anywhere. This is what we're going for right here. So let's see. Oh no, this is gonna be crazy. So we get the flashback. Let's do it. Hell yeah. Your only options are slavery and death. History itself chose them for you. And you get to see a flashback of Saturn being mean to Puma. And Bonnie says, you'll pay for what you did to my daddy and what you did to my mommy. And then you see Kizaru, and he's on the ground, roughed up, just 3-dotting it like he's dragging. Oh no. And then Sentomaru is there too. And you see the flashback of Saturn saying, I performed a chemical experiment on your mother. And it says, you people aren't gods, but gods do exist. And then it says, hi, Bonnie, it's me. I'm your mommy. And then we get another flashback of Puma doing the dance, the Nika dance, and it says, he'll show up and save you. Oh my God. And she says, and so do heroes. I wish we could have lived together as a family. There were times I wanted to die if I had to be alone, but I won't. I'm going to live because they wanted me. And we get to see Puma and Bonnie as a baby, and Ginny. It says, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for being born. And it says, because they wanted me to be alive. And Saturn says, insects, vermin. And Bonnie cocks back, and Luffy cocks back too. And it says, liberation. This is a sick panel. This is dope. Then we flash to Vegapunk's message being heard by Iceberg. If the worst comes to pass, I want you all to take care of yourselves. No matter what should happen, I believe in the intelligence of mankind. I believe in science. Roger died 25 years ago. Whitebeard died 2 years ago. But the fall of these legends was merely a prologue of a new era. It said, then we go back to Saturn getting absolutely fucking wrecked. Bonnie said liberation, Nika punch. And then Luffy is behind her doing like the most intense fucking Gatling along with her punches. It's crazy. Saturn has all these fucking holes blown through him. And Vegapunk says, and now these people who refuse to buckle under any and all suppression. And then all of the giants go, yeah. Bonnie is crying and Luffy is laughing. He's saying, yeah, yeah. He blew into pieces. Good job, Bonnie. And we get to see a flash of Kuma. And then the giant said, look, isn't that your ship? It's the Sunny. And they're all falling. It says, falling, dying, help. Falling, dying, help. And then it says, they are the ones who are the closest to the truth, ironically enough. Then again, perhaps it was Roger who sent them there. Dude, this is crazy. Oh, I see Ryan in the chat. Sorry, I've been locked in. This is checking in for some spoilers. A kid. I'm just hopping in for a minute to show some support. Keep up the great content. Thanks, Ryan. Then we get a flash of Roger saying, my treasure, why, it's right where I left it. It's yours if you can find it. I've left everything in the world there. Then we see Shaggy putting a coat over Rayleigh as he's passed out, saying, you're gonna catch a cold, Ray. And then all the pirates say, woo, Vegapunk, I like the sound of what you're saying. And then it says, the person who winds up with it may not be the one Joy Boy desired. Oh no. And then it says, hideout of Emperor Blackbeard Pirate Island full of lead. Saying, is the Commodore crew back yet or what? And then they said, I can't just wait around like this. And it says, ship of Emperor Red Hair, the Red Hair Force. And it says, Captain, you might have had too much. Nah. No, I'm not. You're drunk. And then we flash to hideout of Emperor Buggy, Empty Bluffs Island. And it says, we weren't wrong after all, Chairman. You always find a way to outdo our wildest imaginations. I says, huh? We had no idea the story was this vast. Huh? And it says, there's no ceiling to your ambitions. And you see Crocodile and Mihawk like, bruh. It's crazy. And then it says, it cannot happen. We must find it first. Then who's going to save the people? Think, idiots. This is Marine HQ. Then Vegapunk says, there is no stopping the tide. The fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds it. Oh, man. And it says, the person who lays claim to the One Piece. And then we have Luffy, we have Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard, Buggy. Then we have on the bottom, we've got Kainu, Dragon, someone in dark that we can't see, Emu, Kobe, Fuzan. We have Saint Fagarlin and Sabo. Now, this is the panel that people have been murmuring about. And so people are saying that opposing forces are basically, where who's going to fight who. So we have Kainu fighting Sabo. I can see that. Dragon fighting Fuzan, which I can also see. Emu fighting Kobe, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Then we have Saint Fagarlin versus this random shadowy figure that looks like he's wielding a blade similar to Shanks. I've heard murmurs of people saying this is Shanks' evil brother, whatever. I don't know if I subscribe to that. It would make a lot of sense, okay? It would, because, we saw the Gorosei meet up with someone that looks exactly like Shanks, but we didn't see the scar, So there's a lot of speculation that it comes from this, And then I hear people saying, oh, well, Luffy's fighting Blackbeard, Shanks is fighting Buggy. Or it's going to be Shanks and Luffy versus Buggy and Blackbeard, like all this stuff. The thing is, this could mean anything. The way this is paneled, it doesn't exactly mean, what that means. Honestly, it could mean a whole host of things. It could be parallels, like Dragon is fighting Saint Fagarlin, Fuzan could be fighting the Shanks' evil brother. Emu could be fighting Sabo. Kobe could be fighting a Kainu. Like, there's just this panel just does go crazy hard. It just does. So, it definitely has a lot, as far as, how people perceive this, because it could go a modicum of ways. But this is a crazy panel. One thing that I feel like is understated, though, is what Vegapunk means here. Because he says the person who winds up with it may not be the one Joy Boy desires, which makes a lot of sense. Because it always seemed like a time thing, right? Like there was a certain time frame in which someone needed to arrive at the One Piece because that Roger said he was too early. So to me, this is stating there's a time limit. And that's obviously why Shanks told Buggy and why Shanks had been so inactive for so long. He was biding his time. He was waiting, and now is the time where Shanks can act and make it so that people finally see, what Roger had been waiting for, what he said that was there that he never could obtain. So this is making a lot of sense. But it is kind of crazy, and this is something that I'm wondering is Vegapunk says there's no stopping the tide. The fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds it, the one who finds the One Piece. So, I mean, Oda always said that it's not going to be something abstract. It's not going to be the friends we made along the way or anything like that. What if the One Piece is like the ability, or what if the One Piece has the ability to reset the planet to the way it used to be? Like it can redo all of this shit that we're talking about, right? Like it can make it so that, hey, we're not fucking sinking anymore. You know, maybe the ocean goes under, the red line cracks, you know, like all of these things could be true. And maybe it's almost like a planetary reset or something to that effect. Because like he's basically saying like, hey, like the person who gets it may not be the one we want to have it, because they may not be able to do, you know, what the fuck is going on. But where does he say it? I want you all to take care of yourselves if the worst should come to pass. No matter what should happen, I believe in the intelligence of mankind. Roger died, but Whitebeard died 2 years ago, but all these were merely prologue to the new era. Where does he say it? One day the memories of the Void Century will be recalled. It says the sinking of the world's continents was a holy shit. Did I just have a stroke? Was a man-made disaster brought about by weapons. Weapons which by someone's design still exist today. So I wonder if even using an ancient weapon anytime, just automatically for some reason, it's almost like maybe Oda's commentary on like climate change, you know. We use our cars and stuff like that, and we're basically producing greenhouse gases and stuff like that, almost to the effect of that will ruin the planet one day. So it's like, in this instance, is Oda being like, every time the weapons are used, the earth sinks a little bit more into the ocean. So it's like, okay, if that is the truth, then does that mean that um, there's a way to reverse it? And is that what the One Piece is? Is the One Piece the ability to reverse that whole thing and actually bring the Earth back into, you know, like almost like a reversal of all the time that had passed? So I don't know, but I will say this chapter has been fantastic for so many different reasons. I love that Bonnie's just going back into G5 because of Saturn just being there. I also love that Luffy is just like, just absolutely thwarting Saturn on all fucking uh on all avenues. Then this panel I feel like is so under appreciated because the last panel goes so hard. This panel of her like in tears G5 with Luffy G5 like right behind her, and like it's like he's fucking gigantic compared to her. And then, you know, her saying all this stuff about Puma and how gods, you aren't real gods, but gods do exist, you know, everything. And then it's almost like Luffy is like Bonnie's stand in this like thing, because like Luffy's behind her. She hits like one punch, like straightforward, and then he's just like boom, 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 just wrecking Saturn shit. And the Iron Giant standing in front of Warkery and Jupiter, Still kind of going hard. I want to know what he's about to do. Something tells me it's going to be big. Probably a self destruct. Um, but then seeing Saturn just like in shambles and like with all those holes hit in him and Bonnie crying and Luffy just losing his shit, being like, yo, he got blown to pieces. Like that's kind of crazy. Um, and then seeing the sunny drop down, it's like things are starting to line up. Like they're escaping from this. It's like Sabaody 2.0, only this time, instead of them actually getting separated, going their own separate ways and everything like that, the actuality might be, they escaped and they weren't safe. This may be the inverse of that, where they escape, but they're safe and they're together. They're just on two different ships. So this is super interesting. Everything that's happening is very interesting. Getting the look at basically like Blackbeard on full lead, the hideout of the Blackbeard pirates, the ship of the red hair pirates, and the hideout of the Emperor Buggy. Like all of these things are crazy. And then leading to this last panel of just these are the major players. These are the people who are going to be intricate in the ending of One Piece. Like I feel like this is actually really crazy because at the end of Wano, it was like, okay, the One Piece is beginning. This is the One Piece, you know? And now it almost feels like, okay, well, this is the One Piece. This feels like as soon as this arc ends, it is going off the rails. It's probably going to go from 0 to 60, which is insane considering this whole arc has been crazy in itself. Just because like we got we got Bonnie, we got Kuma's backstory completely. We got all this stuff going on with Emu and then the Gorosei showing up all in full force on Egghead, which has already been crazy. We've got the revelation of the Holy Knights. It's just this this whole arc has been nothing but gas, and it's like probably gonna get crazier. So it's just wild to see. But anyway, so what I will do is I'm gonna give my thoughts. I mean, honestly, I thought a lot of the stuff was, when Vegapunk was talking about the obliteration of the last descendants of rare races. To me, it almost seemed as though my theory about Joy Boy's crew's descendants were all from different races, and that's the reason why um all these races were being wiped out by the government. They're like, we can't have any descendants of their race, the races of the ancient kingdom. We can't have. Hmm. So that was really cool. The Bonnie thing, super emotional. Like, you'll pay for what you did to my daddy and what you did to my mommy. Your people aren't gods, but gods do exist, and so do heroes. I wish we could have lived together as a family. There were times I wanted to die if I had to be alone, but I won't be. But I won't. I'm going to live because they wanted me to be alive. Like this animated is just gonna go crazy, guaranteed. And then of course Luffy being that liberating force, behind it, and then just seeing Saturn like completely fucking wiped out, and everything, and then it's a panel. So my score on this chapter, I'm gonna say this is an 8.5. This honestly, you know what? No, it's a 9 for me. All this stuff was really great. There wasn't a ton, and I mean like a ton of build here because there wasn't a lot of different things that I felt I don't know, like added to this. Like I thought that it did a lot of good things. It gave us a lot of good information, but it didn't like uh there wasn't a ton um there wasn't a ton of like, I don't know, progression for the story aside from what Vegapunk was telling us. Um, so I think that, but it was a lot of payoff. There was a lot of payoff. Her finally getting her lick back, her talking about how she feels about the whole situation, Luffy backing her up, and then just the overall essence of the chapter of like, this is it. The four emperors are now going for the One Piece. And not only that, we still have the Revs, the Holy Knights, the sword, and everything all coming to a head. So it's like this is getting to the climax. So this is one of those chapters that really made me feel what I hate, and that's One Piece's ending in the future. And I hate that for me. I hate that for you. Madison says, for a 12-year-old, she shows more maturity than anything else. Yeah, he is a child. But you know what? We stood on business. She said, like, I will live because, not because of any other reason than because they wanted me to be alive. And her even crying out and saying, I wish we could have been together as a family, like that alone is heartbreaking. But it's just such an amazing, amazing fucking moment here. So I'm so happy for this. You know, I'm happy for her. I'm happy she got her lick back. And this has all the more solidified my thoughts that Bonnie's in the crew. Bonnie's a straw hat. She's part of this. She's going to be an amazing addition. So I'm hyped for this for sure. But yeah, this is a 9 chapter, easy. But yeah, so um, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I had for this chapter. Always love to see Crocodile and Mihawk. Just I love Crocodile and I love trolling on Mihawk, but I mean, I will say I would probably feel the same way if like, Buggy's dudes are just glazing him all the time and it's like, dude, this guy is not done. But they just keep giving him accolades. Um, but yeah, this was definitely an amazing chapter. Um, mm, yeah, so good chapter. I really liked it. I feel like I need to see some other people's reactions as well, and which I'll be doing probably later today. Um, and checking out how all the other stuff is coming into tow. So honestly, this has been an amazing like chapter. It's been giving a lot of good information, good payoffs that I think were necessary. But yeah, so but now we are going to transition over to My Hero Academia chapter 428. And then I think maybe either later today or I might even just wait and put it off till next week just because I feel like I need to save them up. I'm gonna do like a huge JJK react stream for like the last like 3 chapters because I've just been putting it off because it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of progression in the story. So in the near future though, I will be doing a JJK react where I actually go through and read the last few chapters um, and get an understanding of where we're at with that. But yeah. So now we're gonna go transition here over to My Hero and get the latest chapter. If I can get it up. Where is it? Can I do it? Let's see. There we go. Alrighty, let's get to it. There we go. All right, now we add it. So, My Hero spoilers incoming. If you are not caught up, please drop a like and a follow and skedaddle. And then come back when you get the chance. So, it says, I saw his live battle against All for One. I've been a fan of Todoroki since the sports festival. Same, he's the reason I chose this career path. Same here, me too. Please understand that your role models are only human. You mustn't hound them lest you turn into an unruly mob and frighten them. Happy to chat, but one at a time, please. See, it takes a lot more to make Todoroki flee from a conversation. And then it says it's Bakugo, I think, and it says they were running in the hallway, Prez. You hear me? Running. And it says, indeed, rules exist for a reason. And it's chapter 428, The Girl Who Loves Smiles. And then it says, furthermore, they're still convalescing in the wake of their battles. Grant them the rest and repose they require. And all the girls are just like shocked. It says, we're so sorry about this. We spotted them and couldn't help ourselves. And then Shinzo says, I would have thought Bakugo relishes an adoring crowd. And it's what the fuck is this guy's name? The tape dude says, even he gets flustered by that many fans, I guess. There you go. The electric dude's like, must be nice. Midoriya says, girls have always kept their distance from Kachan, so maybe he's not used to female attention. I've known him for years. And it looks like Shinzo says, oh, surprising. And the fucking, what is his name? The dude with the balls on his head. Says, not surprising at all, damn it. I'll give the guys props for his heroics, but but bad boys do not deserve to get chicks. It says, get lost already. Sorry again. Right, not surprising. Now I see it. And all of a sudden someone says, excuse me, Midoriya senpai? And it says, saw you in that fight and it gave me all sorts of courage. Like I felt I had to stand up and do something myself. You were super inspiring. I really mean it. And Midoriya says, so, or then the guy says, so, thank you. And sorry to bother you. And then he like remembers like, what's his name? Stinger? It says, oh, okay. This pain. It says Midoriya and Todoroki get a pass, but bad boys don't deserve chicks. My soul won't accept it. It says, hey, come on. Those battles were nuts, yeah? And they were at the center of all of it. So can you really blame those kids? And it just says zing. The staff, it's in the staff room. And Mike says, the media's asking to interview Class 2A again. And Aizawa says, I'm saying no. Some of them would welcome the chance, yes, Mineta for one, but others wouldn't. They take priority. Today we're on reconstruction duty. And Midoriya's in his outfit, and Fat Gum and Best Genius are there, and says, "Well, if it isn't Class A." Hiroshima said, "Pumped to be working with you, Fat." And he said, "You bet. Sun Eater's here too as my sidekick. This way, you all." And it says, "Bring all metal over here, please." And then Todoroki says, "First we level the ground, right?" And it looks like Midoriya is fucking something up. And then all of a sudden, Best Genius says, "Quite the damaged denim, aren't you? You really ought to be recuperating, yet here you are." And it says, "Kachan doing light lifting. So you're still a pipsqueak?" And it says, "Worry not, I'm recovering, albeit slowly. I even have hands now." Oh, wow. So Ed Shot, the one who went in and saved Bakugo's heart in those last moments, is still alive. He was supposed to be sacrificing himself. I don't know how to feel about that. I felt some type of way when Bakugo got murked and then literally was able to come back at all. Like if you're gonna die for good. And then Bakugo says, "Will you ever get back to normal?" And Headshot says, "From the outset, I intended to seize the day and triumph." And then Bakugo just smiles. Uraraka is using her powers to lift all this stuff. And then it says, "Hey, youngsters, how about lunch? Check it out. Onigiri. For us? Really?" And it says, "My property got blown off the map in the big battle." And then you get a flashback of Midoriya saying, "We'll bring it all back." And he says, "I'm sorry." And the old man says, "Not at all. I don't mean to say I hold it against you. When we saw you bunch fighting the good fight, we realized we had no business sitting around moping. Can't ask you to handle this job all on your own. Nah, we're ready to step up and do our part to rebuild too." And um it says, "After this awesome feast you laid out, we'll finish the job today." And the old people said, "Might be a little short-handed to get it done that quickly." And all of a sudden a bus pulls up. And Aizawa says, "No other bus was scheduled to show up." And it says, "Sorry, Eraserhead." My class insisted on apologizing. "We're sorry again about earlier. We didn't consider what you've been through." And they're like, "These first years are seriously intense." And Aizawa says, "And why did you humor them?" And Cementos says, "Their extreme remorse got to me. You senpai fought so hard for everyone, so now we want to help out in return." And they said, we may not have our provisional licenses and the school year's only just begun, but please let us do whatever we can." Cemento says, "Attend to minor tasks, okay? And don't be getting in the way of the second year students." He says, "Yes, sir." Hiroshima says, "These underclassmen are mysterious entities for real." And then they said, "We didn't prep lunch for so many, though." And they said, "It's fine. We already ate." They're intense. intense. Go. The old man says, not sure how this came about, but I suppose one turn of good, hard work inspired the next, and so on. And Froppy says, Ochako? She says, yeah. Little by little, things are taking a positive turn. What a relief. And then Froppy and Midori are looking at her. And he said, that's all. I'm good, Tsuyu. Anyway, which onigiri flavor do you want, Deku? Takana greens? Wow, same here. Yeah, Takana and Umeboshi pickle plums are top tier flavors. And she just eats it and says, what a feast. And you hear zing. Wonder what that is. And Izuku's just looking at her. And it says 7 p.m. They eased up on the dormitory requirements. Those who wanted to move back home were allowed to do so. It says Uraraka said she's heading home for a bit. And Tsuyu says, Ochako hasn't read my latest text. And then she thinks back to the camera guy. Oh crap, what now? I messed up big time. In the rush to get up here in the chopper, I didn't realize the camera battery was dead. That day, there was no camera there to capture the end of our battle. Ochako says the cityscape's looking back to normal already. Little by little, things are taking a positive turn. What a relief. Feelings like nothing has gotten better ever since then. It's like the sun is setting and the shadows are growing long. Unlike those others times, it's really over now. Everything's been settled, and that's a good thing. The world's facing forward and ready to bring it all back. I love the fact that everyone's smiling again. And I don't want to be a party pooper. But then she thinks of Toga. And says, that's why, just like before, I'm dealing with this lasting pain by shutting it all away. And she's crying. And Midoriya says, Uraraka, and sees her crying. Interesting. Let me look up TCB. Because I feel like feels like there's more. Okay. Oh, and Horikoshi's notes. The new movie comes out in August 2nd. Please go watch it. Definitely will. Definitely will. Nope, that's it. Looks like Deku shows up at the end. But what's interesting is he has the lightning coming off of him as if he's using All for One. But he doesn't have that anymore, right? Damn, that's messed up. A lot of people in the comments. A lot of people are not talking about the fact that it looks like All for One is back inside Deku. But very interesting. But this chapter was kind of crazy. It's so insane because a lot of people troll, a lot of people say a lot of stuff about the fact that, my hero is corny, childish, and shit like that. But this ending is not that. And it hasn't been corny or childish for a while. I can understand maybe a little bit in the beginning, but it really fucking, got a lot different. And now it's like we're getting to the point where we're seeing the ramifications of how people feel and what they went through. It's like, Aizawa lost a leg. He lost like a hand. He lost an eye. Like he lost a fuck ton. Not just that, you also had like, Endeavor, who's like all but, a torso. And like, dealing with the ramifications of the emotional trauma that it comes with, losing your child and being that terrible person that pushed your child away. Like, there's so much that goes into this because, these are very emotionally driven characters. I mean, like, Deku has, a part of his, face. It's like a big old scar there. He's missing half of his hair because of it. Not to mention all the wounds all over his arms from using them when he couldn't use All for One correctly. Like, these are characters that are literally different now. Todoroki and Bakugo have scars all over themselves from their fights with their, battles. And, Bakugo almost died. Like, there's so much going on here that I feel like is just like not just the physical aspect of things, but it's also the mental aspect. Like, Uraraka received the rest of Toga's blood. There could also be the fact that her quirk was able to come over to Uraraka, a little bit from that. And now we're talking about how that Uraraka is dealing with the emotional trauma of losing Toga, and and their whole fight wasn't even televised, and it's like you can't even look back on it, and it's just crazy. Like, this is just such an emotionally developed show, and so I don't know. It's really really good the way that they are doing this, and I think that it's very telling of how good of a writer Horikoshi is for putting this together like this. So I just wanted to give them props on that because this is definitely like this ending when it comes to pass is probably going to be one of the most emotional conclusions that um, that they'll probably have. So yeah, this is a really good thing, and to see that you know Uraraka has been suppressing her emotions and stuff like that, and the one who finds her is Deku. This is going to be good. They're probably going to have like a really great moment together next chapter, talking about their feelings, and that's important with this show especially. So but yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. I think that this chapter was good. I would give this chapter it wasn't very long, and I felt like it didn't really progress the plot too much towards the end as far except for like at the very end. So I probably give this like a 7. Like it was very middle of the road to me. Maybe 6.5, somewhere in that range. It just like, the beginning was kind of just whatever, but I do like the way that they're kind of painting it out like, hey, like these people are still recovering, like, and all these people look at the, you know these people like celebrities and stuff like that. And it's like, no, these are real people dealing with the trauma and trying to recover from all the shit that happened when they were just in a war. So, but yeah, I do like the chapter. I don't like that Edgeshot is still alive. I think that that's horse shit. All of these other characters have all these scars and these issues, and some people died and stuff like that. He should be one of them. He said, I'm giving my life to basically bring this person back. And that's just what it should be. Don't tell me the stakes if they're not the real stakes. So yeah, not a fan of that. So you know what? For that, I'm gonna give it a 6 because I do not like the fact that Headshot's still alive. And that's maybe that's being nitpicky, but like Bakugo dying, crazy. I was like, damn, can't believe they're really gonna off this dude like this. Then I was like, okay, well, you know what? They offed him. He's packed. That's okay. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're bringing him back. And I'm like, well, why? Why did he even die if you were just going to bring him back? And then it's like, well, no, now this other character's dying and sacrificing themselves to bring this character back. I'm like, okay, so somebody's dying, right? Like there's some stakes here involved. And then it's like, okay, that person is giving their life. I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's like, okay, nobody died. There was no stakes. Everyone's just all fine in the end. I don't know. To me, that's kind of poor writing. But there are so many other things that My Hero excels in. It's just not this one. So, but anyway. So that's good. But I really do like this whole feeling of, the way Uraraka is feeling and the class is feeling. And even Aiza was feeling, saying like, I want to make sure that they're ready. I don't want them to be doing interviews and all this other shit when they're not ready for this. Just shows a lot of depth from Aizawa as well. But yeah, so we got a fucking 9-banger of a chapter from One Piece. We got a solid 6 from My Hero. It had really great moments and it had some really not good moments. But overall, these chapters were great and I'm very excited. Let me just double check. It doesn't look like there's a break for My Hero next week. So that's good. And it looks like there might be a break for One Piece. So let's just take a look at that real quick. Oh, we went too far. Yeah, break week next week. So next week will be a break week. So I'm just going to hold off. And then next week, I'm going to do 3 JJK chapters or whatever is out. And I'm going to speed run them and I'm going to go through them and give you guys my thoughts on that. So, but as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to Ryan, Madison, everybody who comes through. Please like the video. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And also check out some of my other stuff about my trip to Las Vegas and my trip to the One Piece Symphony. And then also just know tomorrow is when I am dropping my One Piece TCG giveaway. So please like, follow, subscribe, and comment on all 3 platforms: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, for 3 chances to win just the deck box. But then I will put all the names in for booster boxes, because I will be giving away 2 of those with 2 very special cards in either one of those. So please follow for that stuff. That is free One Piece TCG cards that you can just have and I will ship to you. So please make sure to check in for that, because I love doing these giveaways. I have way too many cards. I really need to slow down, but the damage is already done, so it's my turn to give back and make sure that people are getting the cards that they need to play the game and collect. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.